Imagine it's a cold, damp morning. You're late for work, coffee in hand, and you slide into your car, hoping for a quick start. But when you turn the key, nothing happens. The engine stays silent. Maybe the dashboard lights flicker, but there's no sound, just stillness and frustration. Instantly you wonder, is it the battery, the starter, or something worse? You picture a big repair bill and days without your car. Most people panic and call for a tow, expecting the worst. But sometimes the fix is simple. A tiny, cheap part you've never thought about. Often, a car that won't start is stopped by one of the smallest, least expensive components. Let's find out what this tiny hero is, and how it could save you time, money, and stress. The unsung hero? The humble car fuse. Those tiny, colorful plastic pieces with metal prongs protect every electrical circuit in your car, from the radio to the fuel pump. If there's a power surge, the fuse's metal strip melts, breaking the circuit and saving expensive components. When a fuse blows, the part it protects stops working, sometimes making it seem like a major failure. A blown fuel pump fuse can mimic a dead fuel pump, but the fix is worlds apart in cost and effort. One is a 5-minute, 5-pound job. The other could cost hundreds. Knowing this can save you a massive headache. Always check the simple solution first. Meet Don. He's your typical neighbor, friendly, hardworking, and always ready to lend a hand. Don takes pride in his family and his home, but when it comes to cars, he's the first to admit he's no expert. Like many of us, Don relies on his car every day, but he doesn't know much about what goes on under the hood. He's not a mechanic, just a regular guy who expects his car to work when he turns the key. On the morning of his daughter's graduation, a day he'd been looking forward to for months, Don's car refused to start. The timing couldn't have been worse. The family was dressed up, the camera was ready, and excitement filled the air. But the car just sat there, silent and stubborn. The engine cranked, making all the right noises, but it wouldn't fire up. Don's heart sank. In a panic, he called his local garage, desperate for help. The mechanic on the phone suspected a failed fuel pump, so they sent a tow truck, hauled the car away, and replaced the pump. The bill? Over 450 pounds, an expense Don hadn't planned for. Don paid the hefty sum, relieved to have his car back but feeling the sting in his wallet. He trusted the professionals and never questioned the diagnosis. Weeks later, in a casual conversation, I asked Don if anyone had checked the fuel pump fuse before replacing the pump. He looked puzzled. He'd never even heard of it. Curious, we popped the hood and checked the fuse box together. There it was. A tiny, blown fuse, the real culprit all along. It cost just 50 pence to replace. Most likely the garage swapped the fuse while installing the new pump, but never mentioned it to Don. Don had spent hundreds of pounds on a repair he didn't actually need, all because of a simple, overlooked fuse. Unfortunately, Don's story isn't unique. This kind of thing happens to people every day. A lack of knowledge can turn a minor issue into a major expense. So, before you assume the worst or agree to costly repairs, always check the basics, like your fuses. It's a quick, easy step that could save you a fortune and a lot of stress. Remember, a little knowledge goes a long way. Don't pay for a new part when a new fuse will do. Empower yourself and keep your hard-earned money where it belongs, in your pocket. So, how do you check a fuse? It's actually a simple process that anyone can do at home, even if you have very little experience working on cars. Fuses are small but important components that protect your car's electrical circuits from damage. If something electrical in your car suddenly stops working, like your radio, headlights, or power windows, a blown fuse could be the culprit. First, you'll need to find your car's fuse box. Most cars have at least one fuse box located under the dashboard, near the driver's side, or sometimes under the bonnet in the engine compartment. Some vehicles even have more than one fuse box, so check both places if you're not sure. Your owner's manual is your best friend here. It will show you exactly where the fuse boxes are located and which fuse controls which part of your car. Take a moment to look it up if you're unsure. Once you've found the fuse box, open it up. Inside, you'll usually find a diagram, either on the lid or in the manual, that tells you which fuse is which. For example, if your fuel pump isn't working, look for the fuse labeled fuel pump. To remove the fuse, you can use your fingers or a small plastic tool called a fuse puller, which is often included in the fuse box. Gently pull the fuse straight out. Don't force it, as you don't want to damage the socket. Hold the fuse up to a light source so you can see the thin metal strip inside. This strip is what carries the electrical current through the fuse. If the metal strip inside the fuse is broken or you see any signs of burning or discoloration, that means the fuse is blown and needs to be replaced. A good fuse will have an unbroken strip. Replace the blown fuse with a new one that has the exact same amperage rating. Never use a fuse with a higher or lower rating, as this could cause electrical problems or even a fire. Always double-check the number on the fuse before inserting it. Push the new fuse firmly into place, making sure it's seated properly. Then close the fuse box lid securely. Now, test the electrical component to see if it's working again. And that's it. You've just completed a quick 5-minute fix that could save you a trip to the mechanic and potentially hundreds of dollars. Checking and replacing a fuse is a simple skill that every car owner should know. The new fuse is in. You sit in the driver's seat, turn the key, and success. The engine roars to life. Relief floods in. What seemed like a disaster is solved in minutes, for the price of a coffee. No tow trucks, no massive bills, no days without your car. You've just saved yourself time, money, and stress. Sometimes, the biggest problems have the simplest solutions. You've learned to check the basics first. That feeling of self-reliance? Priceless. You're back on the road, smarter and more confident. Want to avoid future headaches? Keep spare fuses in your glove box. If a fuse blows again right away, it could mean a bigger issue. Then it's time for a professional. But now, you'll know exactly what to tell them, saving time and money. Share this tip with friends and family. You might save them a fortune too. Remember, check the simple stuff first. A quick fuse check can mean the difference between a 5-pound fix and a 500-pound bill. Stay prepared, stay empowered. It's the golden rule of motoring.